All right. So speaking of silly and depressing, Nick, you want to take the reins on this one?
The Supreme Court.
Shit.
Sorry. This was for my other podcast. Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's over, and I'm underwhelmed.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So
Yeah.
straight up, I thought the first act, which is episode 1 and 2, was okay. I thought 3 and 4 was mid. And then I thought 5 and 6 was like genuinely good. I was like, where the fuck was this the whole time? Like,
I think I just couldn't get over feeling the whole time that it just didn't feel like Star Wars. A lot of the same feelings that I had during Rian Johnson's Star Wars, where it's like it feels like somebody who only kind of read the Wikipedia page of Star Wars, making it, and like only kind of hitting the beats. The dialogue just didn't feel right, and a lot of the stylization, especially. I know it's been talked to death. The lightsaber's intense glow it just didn't feel like it fit in the same universe as everything else.
I had a problem with the storytelling. I didn't know that. Like, it did feel like Star Wars out of place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where like I was seeing Vader and Obi-Wan, but it kind of felt like a surreal type of vibe where it was like, I'm not sure if this is like canon or not.
It felt like a fan film.
Yeah.
That's I haven't watched any of it, just to clarify. But I was talking to Liz earlier, and she watched it. I guess like shotgun it with you yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. She had a good take on it. She was like, it feels like that. I mean, everything that comes to the theaters now for like their main, big productions is so impactful that they don't want to almost like do anything over here for the shows that make it like changing, this like is life changing.
This is another series that could have been a movie.
Yeah,
for sure. And
it probably would have done better, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. I also think that this has confirmed my theory that Disney should stop making 6-episode shows.
I mean,
and they should
how many times do they have to learn this lesson?
Like
how many times
you gotta teach you this lesson, old man?
6 episodes is not enough to tell a good enough story. It's like either make it a movie or make it a longer series. I think, like we said before, 10 to 12 episodes is the sweet spot.
Dude, they fucking like there is moments of greatness in this, and we're just gonna go full spoilers.
What would you say is the best moment?
Anything having to do with Vader.
I think the flashback sequences with
Anakin
that
was good too.
Were the strongest.
I mean, he's a 40-year-old, 22-year-old, but whatever.
They really tried to de-age him, but boy, he was still wrinkly.
They couldn't.
Hey, he's out in the sun.
They couldn't
all the time.
They couldn't de-age him enough though, because as soon as they use too much de-aging, then they get criticized for using too much de-aging. Whereas now the opposite has happened, where they didn't de-age them enough. So now they're being criticized for looking too funny.
You know how everybody talks shit on like CGI, as it's like it always looks bad, but when you do CGI right, the audience doesn't even know that it's there.
Yeah.
But they keep going to one extreme or the other, where it's like it's obvious because there's too much, or it's obvious because there's not enough. They haven't figured out where the sweet spot is.
Yeah, I liked seeing them on Coruscant though. That was nice. I wanted more of that. Like I get it was one flashback sequence, but a little bit more would have been peppered throughout. Would have been fine.
Did you guys feel that it was like, I guess I want to say like reminiscent enough of like classic Star Wars?
No.
And you
not
think,
at all.
Do you think because of like the characters they were choosing, they were trying to do that and they just fucked it up?
No, I don't think they had any idea about that. I think they have like some like rules about like, there's got to be sand. There's always got to be sand. Everything's got to be gray and dark for no fucking reason. And
that last episode was so dark, I couldn't even tell what was going on.
I actually was like,
my TV, I saw more just glare from my room than what was going on on the TV.
I had the HDR on, and I got to see a little bit more. But even I was like, can we get a fucking light source, please? Like the moon or something. Yeah, I don't know. It just anything having to do with Vader was the best for me, and I'm just not into the story and characters. I think Reva's character is absolutely preposterous. I think she had a lot of potential and they just wasted it.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't even understand what her goal was after, obviously, and again, we're doing spoilers, but her goal was to take down Vader from the inside. And in the last episode, she wants to kill Luke for what reason? Like, how does that get revenge? How does that make you feel better by killing an innocent child? And besides that, she and the other Inquisitor got stabbed through the gut, same as Qui-Gon Jinn, and they both survived.
lived.
Yeah, I mean, it cauterizes the wound.
Well, how come Qui-Gon died, Mike?
You
He's
know,
not dead, Nick.
They just hit him in the wrong spot.
I want to see the movie that they're making for after this, because whatever adventure him and Spirit Qui-Gon are about to go on is going to be fucking lit.
Well, they're talking about, like season 2. Both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen say they want to do a season 2, but I don't want any more. I don't want any more.
All right, so let me ask you a question, Nick. Strictly about the Vader stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about it in the 5th and 6th episode?
I liked Vader when he's on when he's on a ship commanding his subordinates. I thought it was great. When it's him and Obi-Wan, it was just okay. Like if those like the 3rd and 4th episode when they have the fight and it's like just Obi-Wan running away, it was really lame. And in 5 and 6, it was a little bit better, but at that point, I had kind of just stopped caring.
Bro, I think they figured it out in this one, in the episodes 5 and 6.
How so? Explain yourself.
They figured out how to make Vader duel somebody and not make it look like a fucking mess. His duel against Reva is literally the best Vader duel ever. It's fucking unreal. Oh yeah, dude. First, she has a double lightsaber and he fights her with just the Force. Never picks up his lightsaber.
Oh, that's badass. Okay.
Then eventually he gets the lightsaber and breaks it in two, and I was like, yo, are we about to see Vader use two single lightsabers?
Single double.
Like that would be fucking sick. But instead he throws one to her and he duels her like traditionally. And he wrecks her. And but it's like to the point where it's like she moves around him a lot. And the way they film it, he doesn't have to because, he's big and clunky and awkward. But his moves are still fucking sick because he uses the Force for a lot of them.
Right.
Like there's one where he straight up throws the lightsaber behind him and blocks two of her attacks and catches it in his hand. I was like, see, this is fucking thought out. Like this is how Vader would fight. And then
I think you're right about that.
His
but
duel
also
against Kenobi. Oh my god.
Bad?
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. Like they actually built up. If they would have done this, if they would have done the whole master apprentice relationship a little bit more than rushing it in the last 3 episodes, right? And we got that duel, that would have sent me over the top. The only reason I had any
that would have popped.
The only reason I had any sort of interest or sympathy for it or empathy was because I'm familiar with these characters for 20 years at this point. Whereas if I was just watching this show dry, it wouldn't have made that much sense. But the dialogue that happens with their lightsabers and then he raises it up to his it's unreal. It's between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Well, I mean,
and you hear the moment Obi-Wan cuts him off.
Yeah.
It just starts calling him Darth. I was just fucking genius. It's all of this right here is genius. This is great Star Wars. Everything else besides for those moments in 5 and 6, awful.
Well, I mean,
not good.
This is definitely made for I don't think anybody's going into this more dry. If you're gonna watch the
not
Obi-Wan
at all.
one,
yeah, so. I mean, yeah, and that moment hits, but it hits because it has so much history, but the imagery too,
right?
Of the duel itself, because once again, somebody cuts open Vader's fucking mask, and you see inside of it. And they have a mix of James Earl Jones, Hayden Christensen's voice saying I'm not your greatest failure. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. And he says, I did, and raises his lightsaber. So it's like this big red glow. It was just nicely done.
Right.
And they didn't play up that relationship enough, though, to really send it home. You know what I mean? The only reason it went anywhere is because we're familiar with all the characters. That's my point. Why, Nick? What do you think?
That's part of the reason why it didn't really do much for me, was because I was so caught up in how much the show just didn't give a shit about everything else around it. You know, it was just kind of doing its own thing and kind of breaking the rules and everything that was established from the prequels and the sequels, where I just had kind of disengaged at that point. But now hearing you describe the fight, I'm like, yeah, that was a good fight. Why didn't it matter to me? It's just
because it had no time to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You've never... that's a good angle to explore how Obi-Wan and Anakin, like, what their relationship is now that they're in this place. And they barely... they just touched it a little bit. And, like, ultimately, the other problem I have is it's prequelitis, bro. Every single thing that was going to happen, I was just like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because Darth Vader's definitely not dying here. I go, yeah, but it doesn't matter because Obi-Wan's still got to train Luke.
Now,
like,
is this too nitpicky? For me, I kept thinking about the line in A New Hope when Darth Vader says, "The last time I saw you,
think about that all the time.
You were the master and I was the apprentice."
They retcon. That was an awesome line that they have just retconned the shit out of.
And I don't want to feel like I'm nitpicking, but I kind of wish that they never had an encounter.
The whole third act...
I would have loved for this to just be Obi-Wan having a soul-searching adventure. And yeah, it wouldn't be action-packed, but it would be like an emotional journey for him.
Yeah, like you'd feel Vader's presence, but it's not like they...
But the loom and danger.
Right. And I mean, like, they just retcon that line, and I think about that all the time because that line is literally what sets up the third act of fucking Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that was a bit, I remember at the time watching that, I was like, oh shit, this is it. Like, that technically is Darth Vader. Like, oh fuck. Like,
yeah. Oh god.
Oh fuck. Oh god. Oh jeez.
Oh.
But yeah, other than 5 and 6, just watch clips of this on YouTube.
So
did the lightsaber thing bother you like it bothered me? They didn't look like Star Wars lightsabers. They looked like a fan film lightsaber.
I didn't think there was any problem with the lightsabers.
So for me, because like they're using they have like an actual light source in the lightsaber now, so they have to accommodate for that rather than it just being like a rod.
Yeah.
So that, and it's like they oversaturated the glow. I kind of like the idea of it giving off actual ambient light.
Well, I think
everything was just like deep saturated red and blue the whole time. And if you look at any of the previous films, even the ones that do implement a glow around it, it's just a light splash of color, not just everything being soaked in it.
There's criticism online in support of what you're saying, Nick.
I think of...
That's why I don't want to be just like that guy parroting all these other takes, but it bothered me.
I think of... What's that movie? Attack of the Clones. Good Will Hunting. When they have the lightsaber battle. No, in Attack of the Clones, when they have the lightsaber battle, there is a part where the lights go out, and Dooku and I think it's Anakin are swinging above their heads, and you see all of the glow upon their face, and that's what it made me think of. I don't know. That didn't really bother me too much. I kind of like it. It looked cool.
It says it
if they toned it down like 50%.
Yeah, it says it comes from like what you said, Nick, where it's like they're using actual light sources in them.
Yeah,
and because they're like LEDs and how human eyes visually like interact with LED lights, it kind of fucked up the footage, and then like the darkness of the footage kind of like they couldn't like fix a lot of it in post.
Makes sense.
But it is an 83 on the tomato meter and a 63 on audience score. Do you guys?
That makes sense.
Do you guys agree?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can't believe it like I can't believe 60, the but around there.
I can't believe the critics like this though. Are they like, yeah, it's a limited series, so it's this is what you should expect. But it's just like I'm tired of
You're tired of limited series.
I'm tired of mediocrity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yo, speaking of tired of limited series, I think The Boys finale is next week. Or is it this week?
It's not, or this coming week.
Yeah,
I think so. It's got 1 or 2 maybe.
All right. Either way, though, I'm about to shotgun that because whenever that ends,
It's been good so far.
Yeah.
How long are the episodes?
40
minutes,
I
think. Yeah. 40 to 50.
I haven't seen any episodes, and it's something that I've always been meaning to get around to.
Same.
It's heavy. Like, it is like very gory.
Dude,
like,
the first episodes is one of the best first episodes of television ever produced.
But like very dark, heavy content. So if you're going to intend to like shotgun it from the beginning, just prepare to be like very fatigued from it.
Yeah, I remember watching the first episode when people were like, "This show's amazing, this show's amazing." I put it on. I was like, this show's okay. And then that last 10 minutes happens, and you're like, "Oh man, I need to see how this ends."
Yeah.
Like,
it's gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, but either way though, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'd give this like a fucking. I'm gonna give it like a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'd probably come in around there. Because it's like, it's just so, like, it took the energy out of me. And it's like I was looking at my phone throughout the whole thing.
It's just so frustrating because there is nuggets of good in there. And
Right.
like, if they just mined it a little bit longer, they would have had a whole golden armor suit for.
Yep. Keep going.
You know what I kept thinking about? The whenever Leia's little droid came up, I just like when you see R2D2 and C3PO, it feels like a part of the universe that you can make a toy out of that, but it felt like it had a purpose. Leia's little droid, it feels like the only reason it's a part of this is just to be a toy.
Lola.
Oh
well, yeah, probably. Like,
it's a handheld droid.
Well, yeah, they saw what BB-8 did. So
also,
like,
yeah. But BB-8 felt like a piece of the universe.
I know, but
Lola feels like a toy. There, it's like give it like here, play with this toy on screen, so kids will want to buy it.
Welcome to capitalism.
I like how Obi-Wan gives Leia a holster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I just started blasting.
Dude, how about the line in that last episode when all right, so they're in like the transport ship and Leia's playing, with like other people on the ship who were scared, and she's like letting them play with Lola, and then like she sees Obi-Wan, walks over to him, and she's like, "They were scared." So, like, and explains, "I was giving my like no child." It's like walks over and it's like, "I'm going to explain myself." Because I can tell by this man's look, he needs me to explain what I'm doing right now.
No, it's the Force connection that she knows, Nick.
Oh, yeah. And then, Pat, did you think it was awkward when that last scene, Obi-Wan shows up on the moisture farm and Joel Edgerton's like, "You want to meet him?" So Obi-Wan walks over to Luke. And Luke just like stands up and waits for him to approach and doesn't say a word, just stands there and waits to receive Obi-Wan.
And Obi-Wan says,
Hello